In the 25th story of the first Kanda, we see that Trishanku had reached the heavens which had been created by Kaushika. Kaushika told himself, "This tapas which I performed in the south has had interruptions and I have used it all up. I will go towards the west and begin all over again. I will choose a spot where I will be concealed from everyone. I will be hidden from the sight of people, and on the shores of some lake I will have my ashram and perform tapas there undisturbed." On the shores of a lake, Kaushika began his tapas in the holy spot by name Pushkara Kshetra. Trishanku had a son by name Harishchandra. He had no sons and he prayed to Varuna, the lord of the oceans. He said, "All I want is to have a son. When a son is born to me, I will perform a yajna with my son as offering and give him to you." In course of time, a son was born to the king, and he called him Rohita. Varuna came to him and asked him to keep his word. He said, "You must keep your promise. You agreed to perform a sacrifice with this child as the offering." The king said, "A newborn child is not clean. It is only after 10 days that it becomes clean. I will give him to you after that." 10 days later, Varuna came to claim the child, and the king said, "A yajna pashu has to have teeth, so wait till the child cuts his teeth." When Varuna came again, the king postponed the gift by saying that the milk teeth should fall, and then that they should grow again. And so it went on. In his attachment to his son, the king kept on thinking up excuses. "Let my son wear armor. A Kshatriya is pure only when he wears an armor." Rohita, in the meantime, came to know about all that had happened. He wanted to escape his doom by running away to the forest with a bow in his hand. The king was afflicted with a dread disease called Mahodara, which Varuna caused as a punishment. Hearing about it, the Rohita started to go back home to save his father. Indra stopped him. He told the young prince that he should go and visit all the holy rivers. 1 year passed, and again it happened, and again. 5 years passed, and finally he made up his mind to go back to his kingdom and see his father. On the way, Rohita met a Brahmin whose name was Ajigartha. He was traveling with his wife and 3 sons. The prince thought that his father's disease would be cured and that he himself could escape death by sacrificing someone else. He saluted the Brahmin, who stood silent to find out what the prince wanted. Rohita said, "My lord, I will give you 1,100 cows. Are you willing to trade one of your sons for it?" The Brahmin wanted more details, and the prince told him about the predicament of his father and himself. Ajigartha said, "My eldest son will not part from me. He is too dear to me, and I will not be able to live without him." The wife of the Brahmin said, "My husband, the Bhargava, has said that our eldest son is dear to him and therefore cannot be given. I want you to know that the youngest child is dear to me, and I cannot bear to give him up. It is always the way of the world that the eldest is the father's favorite and the youngest that of the mother." The second son was called Sunashepha. He spoke in a soft and sad voice. "Listen to me, O prince. My father favors my elder brother and my mother my younger brother. It is as good as understood that I have been sold to you by my parents for 100,000 cows. Take me with you." The prince gave the number of cows to the Brahmin and was happy since he had the young boy with him who would be sacrificed instead of himself. It was noon when Rohita and Sunashepha reached the holy spot named Pushkara. There, the young boy saw Kaushika, who was absorbed in his tapas. The child was hungry, thirsty, and very depressed because he realized that he was unwanted by his parents. Or else, would they have sold him for 100,000 cows? And they knew that he was going to be killed, and yet they gave him away. He knew that this Rishi Kaushika was distantly related to the Bhargava clan, and he felt that he had a claim on him. Impulsively, he rushed to the presence of Kaushika and fell on his lap, sobbing. Rudely awakened from his trance, Kaushika looked at the intruder. He saw a young boy with a woe-begone face, and he was sobbing his heart out. The child said, "I have no father and no mother. As for kinsfolk, I have none. You are my only refuge. You must save my life. I have been told that you are very noble, powerful, and compassionate, that you can never bear to see anyone who is unhappy. I saw you and I have come to you for help." Kaushika wanted to know what was worrying the young boy, and he told him the entire story. Kaushika's heart was full of love for this foundling. Sunashepha said, "My lord, since my father has sold me for the purpose of a yajna, I do not want that yajna to be spoiled, nor do I want to lose my life. Only you can work things in such a way that both these can be accomplished. I want to live long, perform tapas, and then reach the heavens. You are the succor for unfortunate beings like me, and you are a father to me since I am now an orphan." Kaushika pacified the weeping boy with gentle words and promises, and he summoned his sons and said, "Parents create their children so that they will guide them to heaven, to assure them of a place in the other world. I want you to justify your births. Here is the child who has come to me to save him. You are all well read, and you have acquired wealth in the form of tapas. Do what is expected of you by me. One of you should become Yajnapashu for the sacrifice of King Harishchandra. Thus, I will save this child, and the yajna will also come to a successful conclusion. Will you do it?" The sons, led by Madhuchandas, considered it a big joke, and laughing at their father, said, "Father, how can you find it in your heart to abandon your sons for the sake of a foundling who weeps his heart out? It is as impossible that we should accept your suggestion as it is to eat the flesh of a dog." Kaushika's anger rose to the surface, and he said, "Your behavior and your words are unworthy of your birth, and you are not fit to be my sons. Those who disobey their father are not fit to be honored. Like the sons of Vasishta, you will also be Chandalas and eat the flesh of dogs for the 1,000 years." Kaushika assured Sunashepha that he would save his life somehow. He pondered for a long while and then said, "You must go with Rohita and allow yourself to be tied to the sacrificial pole. They will place garlands of red flowers around your neck and smear red sandal paste on your body. They will tie you up with ropes which have been purified with incantations. I will teach you these 2 verses, and in your mind repeat them till you have memorized them. Then, during the yajna, sing these hymns. The yajna will be as good as successful in its completion." Sunashepha learnt the hymns with great care. He then went to Rohita, who had been resting all the while, and said, "Let us hurry to the spot where the yajna is to be performed. I am well prepared for it." The prince was happy to see him a willing victim, and they hurried to the presence of the Sikh king. Harishchandra was immensely pleased with the turn of events. He went to the Yajnashala and began to perform the yajna, though he was sorely afflicted with the disease Mahodara. The young boy was tied to the Upastamba, that is the pole, and when they were getting ready to sacrifice him, the young boy began to sing in his childish treble the hymns taught to him by Kaushika. The Yajnashala was silent with surprise, and later, with admiration for the noble hymns which were in praise of the Devas, Indra, Varuna, and the others who were entitled to share of the harvest. Indra was pleased, and so was Varuna. They appeared in person and granted long life to Sunashepha. The king was forgiven for his lapse, and he was cured of his disease. The experiences he had gone through because of his excessive attachment to his son had taught him a lesson, and Harishchandra wanted to learn the Brahma Vidya from Kaushika. The rishi was only too happy to tell him, and after that Harishchandra was a changed man. Kaushika had 100 sons. One of them was called by the name Madhuchandas, and so all the 100 were called as the Madhuchandas brothers. After the yajna performed by Harishchandra, Kaushika adopted Sunashepha as his own and told his sons, "He is your brother. I want you to treat him as your elder brother. He was born a Bhrigu, but he is now one of you." The older sons of Kaushika were not happy at the suggestion of their father, and they would not accept Sunashepha as their elder brother. Kaushika was of course furious, and he cursed them too to be low-born. There were 50 of them. The other 50, led by Madhuchandas, fell at his feet and said, "We are willing to obey you in everything. We are very happy to accept Sunashepha as our eldest brother. We are very happy." The father was naturally pleased with them and said, You are good sons, and I am pleased with you. Led by this new son of mine, you will be known as Kaushikas, and our house will be famed as Kaushika Gotra. Kaushika pursued his tapas for 1,000 years. At the end of it, Brahma appeared before him and said, "Because of your tapas, you have become a rishi, not just a Rajarishi." Kaushika was not pleased with becoming a rishi. He was determined to achieve the status of Brahma Rishi, and he began to perform tapas intensely. He went to the north, and there he pursued his tapas. Here we come to the end of chapter 25.